Hi everyone, you're all very welcome to this webinar. Today we are going to look at generating a 6-point plan to improve the content for Facebook pages and start getting the results that you want for your business. I have been helping businesses use Facebook as a marketing tool since 2009, and some of the most common feedback I hear from small businesses is, I don't know what to post about, or the reach of my posts is really low. Others will say, I don't know how often I should be posting, or I'm not sure this is working for me. Others are just worried that they're wasting their time. Some people will ask me, should they use Facebook ads? And of course the answer to this question is yes, but we'll deal with that a little later. Others will simply say they're totally lost when it comes to using Facebook pixels. In more recent times, more and more businesses are telling me that the organic reach of their Facebook posts is diminishing. And what I mean by this is that the number of people that see the posts that you publish on your page is reducing. So don't worry if Facebook is getting you down. In this webinar, I'm going to show you techniques that you can apply to help increase the organic reach of your page and make sure that more customers are hearing from you. What you will learn here today, well, first of all, we're going to look at have you got realistic expectations when it comes to using and managing a Facebook business page. Then we're going to look at what you want to achieve by using Facebook. The third area we're going to investigate is who are you targeting? And then we're going to move on from that and look at what content will resonate with your target audience. Then we're going to look at how to create content that will be seen by your target audience. And lastly, we will look at how you will know if it's all working. Before we go any further, I'd like to introduce myself and give you some information on my background. My name is Louise McDonnell. I have an honours degree in business and marketing. I have over 20 years industry experience. Since 2009, I have been working with small businesses, helping them in the areas of website marketing, search engine optimization, social media, and digital marketing. I have a particular expertise and passion for Facebook marketing. And since 2009, I have provided Facebook training and coaching to over 2,000 businesses. Here are some independent reviews that you will find on my To Market Facebook page. I particularly like this one from Alexander Lopez. He said, of the 18 courses and seminars I have attended, this has been the best by far. Sabrina Brady really put a pep in my step when she said she was so inspired following my Facebook training. Sarah O'Connor's comments made my day when she said Louise is incredibly knowledgeable and a font of common sense and practical and invaluable advice. And Frances Patterson said, I was fantastic. So, enough about me. We are here today to learn about Facebook marketing, but let's just remind ourselves why. Facebook helps you connect and share with the people in your life. Facebook is astounding when you consider how it has impacted and changed the way we communicate with each other. Like it or loathe it, you cannot deny that as a platform, it offers businesses the opportunity to reach customers and potential customers. Facebook is truly a global platform with 1.13 billion daily active users worldwide. It's a platform that people like to access using their mobile phone or their smartphone. So we can see here that there are just over 1 billion mobile daily active users. And of course, the statistics are there monthly as well. As users, we are loving this platform. 66% of Facebook users access their account at least once a day. I wouldn't like to tell you how many times I access mine, but I did hear Mary Smith say recently that the average number of times that people access their account daily on Facebook is 150 times. So I don't know how far away I am from that, but it's an interesting statistic. The average number of friends for females is 166 and for males is 145, and the average time spent per day is 20 minutes. So all this presents an opportunity to businesses that want to use Facebook to reach customers and potential customers. The issue is that Facebook is an incredibly busy place. It's becoming a very crowded place, and so the challenge for small businesses is figuring out how they can stand out. And so the first question that we are going to consider on our 6-point plan to improve content for Facebook pages is, have you got realistic expectations? First things first, Facebook is not free. Although it doesn't cost you anything to set up a business page, you need to allocate time every week to work on creating great content for your Facebook page. And time is money, so Facebook is not free. Publishing a good post on Facebook can take, I would say, 40 to 60 minutes. You need to think about what you want to achieve from this post, and then from that you need to consider what image you're going to use, what video you're going to use, what description that you're going to put with that video or image to ensure that people engage with the post. Then you need to sit down and craft your copy for this post, and then you need to schedule the post to make sure that it's published at a time that your customers are most likely to see it. I would say that you need to allocate at least 3 hours a week for Facebook planning, for crafting and publishing posts, and for reviewing your posts and seeing how they are performing. It's really important to respond to all comments and messages that come through on your page. And you will not have realistic expectations if you don't have a budget set aside for Facebook ads. The budget doesn't need to be anything huge if you're a small business and you think you can't afford it. But even setting aside 20 to 50 euros every month will make a difference on how many people see your posts and how successful your Facebook page is. You need to set time aside every week to work on your Facebook business page. How much time that you need to allocate will depend on the number of posts that you intend to create. If you're a very small business and you're working alone, maybe you should aim for 3 really good high quality posts every week. Maybe your business is different and you need to post more frequently. Maybe it's 5 or 6 posts. In that case, you're going to need to schedule more time every week. You need to do yourself a favor. You need to give yourself time and space, I would even say headspace, to be creative on Facebook. You're not going to come up with fantastic content if you haven't given yourself time to be creative and time to create that post. So make Facebook a little bit easier for yourself. Look at your diary every week. What time are you going to schedule in for Facebook? Is there a particular morning or afternoon or even evening time that you can set aside? And that time is specifically for working on Facebook. That time does not get used for any other purposes. People that do this, people that sit down and work by scheduling Facebook into their diary, are more successful, and that's one of the best tips that I can give you here today. Finally, what's really important in terms of having realistic expectations about Facebook marketing is to set aside a budget for Facebook advertising. It really is a very powerful way of making sure your business is reaching its target audience. Whether you want to reach consumers or businesses near your business, or maybe you want to reach people who are interested in a particular subject, or maybe you want to reach out to people who have already visited your website, or maybe you want to remarket to an existing customer list. This is all possible through Facebook advertising, and it really is something that you consider having a budget for and consider learning about if it's something you haven't done to date. This brings us to point 2. What do you want to achieve by using Facebook? What do you want to achieve by using Facebook? I come across businesses all the time that are using Facebook as a marketing tool, but I don't think they know why. Some businesses are using Facebook because everybody else is. Others are using it because it didn't cost anything to set it up. But if you're in business and you are using Facebook, you really should know, from a business perspective, what you want to get out of it. So in this section, we're going to cover why you need to set SMART goals, and then after that, you need to put a strategy in place which will help you achieve the goals set. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, that usually means they have a number associated with them, achievable, so there's no point in having a goal if you have no hope of ever achieving it. This will only serve to demotivate you. Your goals need to be realistic and with a time frame associated with them. Here are some examples of SMART goals. How many page likes would you like to have by a certain date? So if you're a small business in a rural area, you're going to have a totally different goal than if you're an e-commerce store and you're targeting customers nationally or internationally. My advice is to check out your competition, see how often they're posting, consider how often you have been posting to date and what kind of expectation you have of how many times you're going to post from now on, and then set a goal with a specific time frame in mind. Remember, it's better to grow page likes with people that are genuinely interested in your business. Don't ask people to like your page for the sake of it. If they're not interested in your products or services, they will never engage with your posts and they'll never buy anything from you. This brings me to my second point. How many engagements would you like to have per post? So what do I mean by an engagement? An engagement is when somebody clicks, likes, comments, or shares your post. When people engage with your posts, Facebook knows they are interested in your page. As a result of this, they are more likely to show your posts to them in the future. So being conscious of achieving high engagement levels and working towards achieving a goal in this regard will really assist the organic reach of your page. That is the number of people that see your posts from non-page traffic. The third example of the SMART goal here I have is, what weekly reach would you like your page to have? The weekly reach of your page relates to the number of people that see your posts. The more you post and the better the quality of your posts, the higher your reach will be. So be conscious of what your weekly reach is and put a SMART goal in place that will motivate you to improve this metric. Number 4, how many inquiries would you like to receive from your Facebook page, whether that's comments to your page or even just private messages to the page? This can be a great indicator as to whether your page is generating sales or potential sales. Another metric there is email sign-ups. If this is something that's important to you, have a goal in place, because you'll actually have to create different posts in order to encourage email sign-ups on your page. And then the last example I have here is referral traffic to your website. If you are using Facebook to drive traffic back to your website, you should be aware of the current levels of traffic that are coming from Facebook to your website. So my advice here is to go to Google Analytics and check out the referral traffic, and then look and see what kind of goal you want to put in place for the next month or the next quarter, and bear in mind then the types of posts you'll have to create in order to achieve this goal. So just to remind ourselves again, when we talk about engagement on a post, engagement is if somebody likes, comments, shares, and even just clicks on a post. And the easiest type of engagement to achieve is the simple click. If somebody has to click to see more, click on a link, click to view multiple images, click to see some other page that's tagged, click to view a video, these are all engagements that are very much counted by Facebook. So when we talk about engagement levels, never forget about the simple click. It's the easiest type of engagement to achieve. I mentioned in an earlier slide about the weekly reach of your page. So for anybody with a Facebook business page, or anybody that's an administrator of a Facebook business page, when you come onto the page, you actually get a summary of the weekly reach, which is just found here at the top of your page. So we can see that this page here, Discover and It's Grown, had a weekly reach in this particular week of just under 20,000 people. So the other thing to note is that if you click the See All, you get more information. You can then find some additional information in relation to the reach of your page. At the top of the page, here, you can select the date range that you want to see the information. So whether it's for today, yesterday, the last 7 days, or the last 28 days. We can see on this page that for the last 28 days, there has been 22 actions on the page, and these 22 actions or posts have generated a reach of 149,633 people. So just under 150,000 people saw the posts that were created on this page in the last 28 days. We also get a breakdown of the audience, so we can see that the largest audience here was women aged between 35 and 44, and that 90% of people that accessed the information from the page were using a mobile device. So this is really good information, and anyone that has a business page will have access to this. This brings us to point 3. Who are you targeting? Who are your customers? Understanding your customer is one of the fundamental tactics of traditional marketing. If you know who your customer is and what's motivating them to buy your product and service, it's much easier to first of all identify them, communicate to them, and then sell to them. Customer profiling is a really important part of getting your Facebook content right. The first part of customer profiling relates to the demographics. So what age typically are your customers? What's their gender? Where do they live? Maybe things like marital status and income levels are important to the products or services that you're selling. The number of customer profiles that you need to create really relates to your own business. Do you need to create a customer profile for every product or service? Maybe you need to create a profile for every department in your store. But you need to sit down and work through and create a profile, create a persona for every different type of customer that you have. Then I recommend that you use Facebook Insights to see if you are indeed reaching the customers that you want to reach. In Facebook Insights, there is a tab, you'll see it here on the left-hand side, there is a tab called People. And within that tab, you get a breakdown of the fans that currently like your page. So I can see here that 71% of the people that like this page are female and 27% are male. I can see that the most popular age group there is 35 to 44, but indeed from age 25 to 44 would be the most common age there that like my page. So if it's a case that you need to target men, and then you look at your insights and find that your page is indeed only reaching women, you need to ask yourself if this is indeed working for you. Why is, maybe the people who like your page are not totally lined up with your customer personas. And maybe they are, and if they are, that's really good news. If I scroll down the page, you also get information here on the country where your fans live. So I can see here that quite a lot of the fans on my page are from Ireland, but I also have fans from the United Kingdom, United States, and other countries around the world. I also get a breakdown of the city where my fans live, so I can see that I live near Sligo, so the highest number there comes from Sligo. After that it's Dublin, Ballina, Galway, and that's what I would expect. So after you profile your customers, check in with your insights and see if your profiling matches your insights. So the second way that we are going to profile our customers is through psychographics. So in this area, what we consider are the reasons that customers buy from us. So why does somebody choose to do business with me and not a competitor? So questions to consider with this in this regard are: what problems do you solve for your customers? Write a list of reasons why someone might choose to buy your product or services. Why do they buy from you, and why do they not buy from your competitor? Why do customers like you? If you can sit down and brainstorm for an hour and write down everything that comes to mind why customers like you. Write down everything that you think is significant, and even write down things that you don't think are significant. Why do customers like you? It's a really important question to ask. And then, why do sometimes customers choose your competitors over you? Why do you lose out? What are they doing better than you? I really recommend sitting down and brainstorming with all the questions that I have just asked. If you're a sole trader, the best thing to do is maybe with a friend or with somebody who has worked with you in the past, or with maybe one or two really good customers. Sit down over a cup of coffee and just brainstorm. Write down everything. Don't worry about filtering it. You can do that later. Sit down over when you're relaxed, when it's not too formal, and let the juices flow. A second thing you could do is perhaps run a focus group. So a focus group is a small group of 6 to 10 people led through an open discussion by a skilled moderator. This skilled moderator should be independent from your business, so never attempt to be the moderator yourself. Ask someone who can do this on your behalf. The focus group is structured around a set of carefully predetermined questions, usually no more than 10. And discussion should be free-flowing. Ideally, participants' comments will stimulate and influence the thinking and sharing of others. You'll be surprised at the type of information that will come back from this focus group. And as I said, don't attend yourself. Just wait and see how your group gets on. You can simply do a questionnaire of customers, old customers, or even potential customers. Sit down and write a survey. If you use SurveyMonkey and you have under 10 questions and you anticipate having under 100 respondents, SurveyMonkey is free to use. It's a really, really excellent tool, and it's really, really easy to use. So sit down and do a questionnaire and send out this questionnaire, and remember all the time what you're trying to do is profile your customer. You're trying to walk in their shoes. You're trying to understand why they choose you. If you can understand why your customers choose you, then you can use this information to go and find new customers. This brings us to the fourth point. What content will resonate with your target audience? So now you have your expectations in place, you know what goals you want to achieve, you've done some customer profiling, perhaps you've done a customer survey, perhaps you've done a focus group, perhaps you've simply sat down and done some brainstorming. Now you need to take all this information and you need to start thinking about what content that you can create that's going to appeal to your target audience. After all, they're the only audience you really should be concerned with. So now we are standing in our customer's shoes. We're going to ask ourselves a number of questions which are going to help us come up with some really, really good content. So first of all, what problem do you solve for your customers? Is there a question that customers ask you over and over? Is it a question that you can nearly guess that a customer is going to ask you? Are there common problems that you can solve for your customers? And how can you take this information and turn it into content? Do you offer advice to customers all the time? Advice that you don't even consider to be advice. I remember doing a training day one day, and during the lunchtime, one of the participants spent the whole of the lunchtime telling everybody how they should look after their hair. She was a hairdresser, but she was giving such good, simple advice on what products to use and what products not to use. And she was really dealing with so many misconceptions in relation to hair. And I kept thinking throughout all the time that she was chatting to everyone over lunch that this was fantastic content for her Facebook page. And she hadn't even considered that this advice was important enough. So do you give advice all the time to your customers that they could really value, and maybe you can use this information not only to help your customers, but to position yourself as an expert. So the third point here relates to connecting with your staff. Remember, people do business with people. And when somebody is a customer, they are dealing with you and they are dealing with your staff. So people, when they come to your Facebook page, are very happy to hear about what you're doing or what your staff are doing. So always remember that if you can, try and bring out the personalities within your business on your Facebook page. People don't come to your Facebook page to hear about one sales post after another. That's really just going to turn them off. But they will connect, they'll like, they'll comment, they'll share, they'll click on posts when you feature yourself and your staff. Do you want to be the go-to person in your industry? So do you have exclusive news, or the first in your country to be able to share a particular news on a particular product or service? Well, you try and break that information first on your Facebook page, and you'll quickly earn the reputation of being the go-to person in your industry. And the last point there relates to how can you differentiate yourself in a way that matters to your customers. After all, our customer is really the only person that we want to impress and connect with, because they're what can change our bottom line. Here is a great example of a business solving a problem for their customers. So Vanish, they sell a product which helps people remove stains from their clothes. And here they are publishing a post on their page which gives some good advice to their customers, valuable advice to their customers. And we can see, as a result, this post was very successful with 251 likes, 64 comments, 14 shares, and 282,000 views. So when customers find a post useful, they'll engage with it. They'll tag a friend. They'll share it. So here's that good example of a business solving a problem for their target audience. Similarly, I really liked this post from Topline. So this is a hardware store, and they're giving advice on a dripping tap. So I thought this was really good. It's connecting again with target audience and giving them information that's valuable to them. So it's not about what we want to push out there. It's not about what we want to say about our products and services. It's about what our customers want to hear about from us. So I liked this, and here they have used a hashtag called Top Tip Tuesday. So an example of a really good post. I like to give good advice on my own Facebook page. Here's an example of me offering advice. So recently Facebook changed the look of Facebook business pages, and as soon as I could, I sat down and I noted all the different changes, and I put a post together and I shared it on my Facebook page. So this is something that is valuable to the people who like my page. So here is somebody reacting to that post. Here is McDade's bathroom plumbing tile saying, "Great advice, thank you for sharing." So that's really what you want to see. You offer advice, and then you have customers or potential customers thanking you. Here's another example of a business offering advice. So Charlene Flanagan Makeup, a common question she would be asked is, do people put foundation on first or concealer? So she's taken this information and she has created a post around it because she knows it's such a common question. She knows that it will appeal to the people who like her page. It will appeal to her target audience. Here's an example of a post which is allowing the staff within my business to connect with my customers. So when Charlene got married recently, I put up a photograph congratulating her on my Facebook business page. And it had, I think, one of the largest reaches that I've ever had on the page. So you can see here that people like to connect with people, and it gave my customers the opportunity to congratulate Charlene, who they would know from calling in regularly to the office. So don't be afraid to connect with your customers at this level. Similarly, another page that I would manage, Waterpoint in Enniscrone, and like that, when the manager at Waterpoint got married, we put a post out and we could see that the reach of that post, the organic reach of that post, was really high. So another example of your posts don't have to be always selling. Let people simply connect with the people in your organization. And finally, another post where people connect with you. So here's an example of the 3 girls in the office on our Christmas party, and we simply posted that actually from the party, and there again we got really high engagement levels on this post. So do you want to be the go-to person in your industry? So here's a really good example of the local enterprise office in Mayo, and they're actually giving information here to businesses on the types of supports that are available from government. So here's an example of a post that's giving really good information. They're positioning themselves as being experts in that field, and they are creating a post which is of interest to their target audience. Here's a good example of Gunanua Boutique differentiating themselves from the competition. So this boutique was featured on a national TV show, and here they are sharing that on their Facebook page, letting their customers know that they're so good, they're featured on national TV. A really good example of differentiating yourself. Coco Brown can differentiate themselves from their competitors because the Kardashians use their product. and they're not afraid to communicate that on their Facebook page. This is a really good post. You also need to consider what content that you have already published that is working for your audience. What types of posts do your audience like? Some audiences like videos, others like images, others like blogs. Again, Facebook Insights is the place to research this information. Under the Posts tab, you can see that there on the left-hand side, you will see a list of posts you have published on your page in chronological order. What you will be looking at here is the reach and the engagement levels. The reach is how many people saw your posts, and the engagement is the number of people who liked, commented, shared, or even just clicked on your posts. From here, you will be able to see what content is appealing to the profile of customer that currently likes your page. You will also be able to see the types of posts that are appealing to your fans. Is it photos? Is it links to articles? Is it videos? Keep an eye on who is engaging with your posts as well. You can do this on your page and see if maybe you can get an indication of the type of profile of customer that's most likely to engage. This brings me to the fifth point: how to create content that will be seen by your target audience. So at this stage, you've set your goals, you've got your realistic expectations, you know who you're targeting, you've really spent a lot of time sitting down and coming up with content that will appeal to this target audience. Now you need to figure out how you're going to craft your posts, how you're going to create the posts that are going to optimize their chances of appealing to your target audience, which will mean that they will get high engagement levels, and as a result, these people are more likely to see posts from you in the future, and your page is going to be more successful. Here's some advice that I can offer in relation to crafting content that will appeal to your target audience and that will maximize the chances of getting high engagement levels. So the first piece of advice I can offer is to never publish a text-only post. Posts that are just text-only simply just don't get noticed in the newsfeed. And if they do get noticed, the question you need to ask yourself is if an image or a video had been with this post, it would have been seen by way more people. So posts with images receive, they say, 179% more notice in the newsfeed. So you've got to imagine that people are scrolling down through the newsfeed very quickly, probably on their mobile phones, and you need to capture their attention. So you need to use images to do this, and the better the quality of the image, the more chance you're going to capture somebody's attention. So similarly, if you don't want to use an image, consider sometimes mixing it up with videos. Videos, the reach for videos far exceeds all other types of posts. People love videos on Facebook, and even if they only watch the first 5 or 10 seconds of your video, you'll have connected with your target audience. And what you aim to do is in the first 5 to 10 seconds of your video, encourage them to watch the rest of it and keep your videos really short. Facebook Live is new, it's cool, it's really good thing to do, and after you perform live on your page, the post actually appears as a video on your page afterwards. So if you're going to do live sessions, you should let people know what time you're going to broadcast at and encourage people to come and watch you live on your Facebook page. And people can actually comment on your post and you'll be able to see them in real time. So Facebook Live is a really, really good way. So if you have an expert in your business that potentially can go live and answer questions, or if you have an expert coming to your business, you can let your audience know what time this is going to happen at and create a nice bit of excitement around your page using Facebook Live. The next piece of advice I would offer is to tag other pages where possible. So when you tag a page, the administrator of that page will get a notification that the page has been tagged. And what you're hoping they may do is actually share your post. So you could tag suppliers, customers, sponsors, stakeholders. You can tag pages that you're mentioning in your posts, but equally you could tag town pages or national or regional organizations where the information that you're posting about is relevant, and perhaps they may share it, and they're possibly going to have a much larger audience than you have. The other thing I would say is don't post too frequently on your page. Unless you have a room full of journalists coming up with really, really good content, you're not going to have good enough content, I would say, to be able to post a few times a day. Give yourself a break. It's going to be too hard to achieve. I would say post once a day. If you're really, really busy and maybe it's coming up to the Christmas season and you need to post more frequently, keep your posts at least 5 hours apart. This will ensure that it maximizes the chances of each post getting into the news feed. And also, you don't want to put your fans off by being in their news feed every 5 minutes, especially if your content doesn't warrant it. I would also advise you to post at a time of day when your fans are most likely to see your posts. So maybe this is 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe this is lunchtime, maybe this is early evening, maybe it's late evening. The time of day really depends on your fans, your content, your page. And the best way to understand what's working for you is to use your Facebook insights and see if a trend emerges in terms of the times that you post. And the last piece of advice I can give you here is to have a budget for boosting posts. Make sure that you have a little money set aside, even if it's as little as €1, because sometimes you need to boost that post. You need to make sure that it's seen by your target audience. And if you're using your Facebook ads audience creation properly, then you can really make sure that the money that you spend is working for your business and you maximize the return on investment. And this brings us to our 6th point. How will you know if it's all working? How will you know if it's all working? I've mentioned Facebook Insights a number of times during this webinar, and I really can't stress how important it is to review this information in Facebook Insights regularly. All that information is there at your fingertips. You'll be able to see easily the types of posts that are resonating with your audience, the engagement levels, the times of day that you're posting, what impact it's having. So tune in to what you're doing and the impact that it's having, and use your Facebook Insights to achieve this. The second thing you can do is see if you are on track to achieve your set goals. So are you on track to grow your page likes? Or are you are you achieving the weekly reach the goal that you've set in relation to the weekly reach for your page, and the goal that you've set in place for every post in terms of engagement levels? So that's really, really important. Is your Facebook page generating more sales and inquiries? The more active your page is, you'll find the more inquiries will come from it. And if this is important to you, make sure that you're crafting the posts that will encourage the sales and inquiries. Don't be afraid to include this as a call to action on your posts. So saying things like PM the page if you're interested in this product, or if you want more information, contact Mary on this number. So make sure the call to actions are included there. And once you start seeing those inquiries, you'll know if this is all working for your business. Then again, you'll also know if what you're doing is having an impact by reviewing the referral traffic on your website using Google Analytics. If this is important to your business, if you have a website and generating traffic from your Facebook page to your website is important. So that's how you'll know if all that you're doing is having an impact. Thanks for attending my webinar here today. The question remains, how can I help you? How can I help you get the desired outcome you want for your business from using Facebook? Have you maybe attended Facebook training courses in the past, but when you came back from the course to your business and tried to implement what you had learned, all of a sudden it wasn't that clear anymore? Or sometimes if you've attended some Facebook training, have you just been overwhelmed by all the information you've received and then tried to figure out what to do? You haven't been able to, so maybe you've done nothing. I can help you. If you want to change, if you want to set a marker down and say, today's the day I am going to change the way that I manage my Facebook page. If you decide that in 10 weeks' time you want to have a Facebook page that's way more successful, that has way more fans, engaged fans, and that is actually making more money for you, well then I can help you. I can help you identify who your ideal customer is, and I can show you how to target them so that they like your page and do more business with you, so increase your bottom line. I can help you to start creating great content on your Facebook page that will be meaningful to your fan base and that will, as a result, be seen by more people. And in doing so, will increase the organic reach of your posts and of your page. I can help you master Facebook ads. If you've simply just been boosting posts from your Facebook page, you really are only scratching the surface. There is so much you can do in terms of Facebook ads, and I can help you. I've got a 10-week program that I will deliver week by week with you in a way that won't overwhelm you and that you will be able to work through. Over the 10 weeks of my Facebook Business Bootcamp, I will send you a weekly video tutorial for you to watch at a time that suits you. And you can watch this video as many times as you need to and as you feel that you will get the benefit from. Every week we will deal with one aspect of Facebook marketing at a time, so it's not too much to take in. And every week you will have some homework. You will have weekly manageable tasks. But I'm going to help you work through those tasks. And by working through those tasks, your Facebook's going to be way more successful. In fact, we're going to meet once a week via Skype, and we're going to review how you're getting on. We're going to discuss issues that you may be facing, resolve any problems you may have, and we're going to plan for the week ahead. We're actually going to work and do some planning on your Facebook business page. I'm a Facebook expert. I've been coaching and mentoring businesses since 2009. So I've got great ideas and I can help you. I'll be inspirational for you and I'll be somebody to bounce your ideas off. This program won't suit everyone. I'm looking for people that are 100% committed, that will sign up to this program and will give a commitment to work on this program week in and week out. You need to be a small to medium-sized business owner or manager, 100% committed to the program. You need to be able to allocate time every week. It doesn't matter what time, if this is morning time, afternoon, evening, nighttime, weekend, it doesn't matter as long as you're prepared to allocate time every week to work on your video tutorials, to work through the tasks that I will set for you and help you work through, and also to sit down and to meet with me for 1 hour on a one-to-one basis every week. So you need to be prepared to allocate that time. Everybody's busy. Everybody can say they're busy. We are all busy. But I guarantee you, if you work through this program the way that I want you to, you'll actually find that you'll be less stressed, you'll have more time to manage your Facebook page in a better way, and you'll have better outcomes. Lastly, you need to have a budget for Facebook ads if you want to come on this program. It doesn't have to be a huge budget, but you need to have some money set aside so that we can implement the learning from the course and we can start getting those desired outcomes for your business. As my Facebook Business Bootcamp program includes a 1-hour weekly Skype meeting with me, it means that I'm limited in the number of businesses that I can take on in any given time. I have a number of limited places available at the moment, and if you'd like to discuss in detail more about this with me, please feel free to make a free appointment. You can see my appointment diary right below this webinar. If there are no appointments available this week, please look to the next week and schedule a time that suits you. So that's it. Thank you for attending. Please feel free to connect with me on Facebook. My Facebook business page is facebook.com/2market. I also have a Facebook group. You'll find that it's called Facebookers United if you search in the search bar, or indeed if you type in the URL facebook.com/groups/Louise McDonnell, you'll find it as well. And that group, I have lots of free tips and advice on Facebook exclusively. Thanks for connecting with me. Thanks for spending this time with me, and best of luck with all your Facebook marketing in the future. And I'd like to work with you, so make that appointment today. Thank you.